Good morning, everybody. What's happening? Now let's see if this is Correctamundo 2020. Okay, all right. Very good. Okay, we're here. We're here, and there's nobody here. So I'll just sit here for a little while. I don't know why they have these. I guess these so they can't come in. But now they have all these placards. They got the Pacamara things up. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to all. Sawadi Ton Chow. Yes, we're a little bit late today just because you know why? I wasn't going to stream today. And my wife had to work from home. And she's working, I'm working. And I just thought, I don't feel like being around her when she's working. I don't want to listen to her yapping on the phone and stuff like that. Um, I set some streams, I have set them ahead of time for a long time. I set one about America and I set one about the Chao Phraya live because I was going to go to the Chao Phraya and I just haven't felt like going. And I mean, I had it set probably, I don't know, January or February of this year, and I just kept putting it forward. So this one, I just put this one up. And the other one, there was one supposed to be today and one supposed to be next week. Now I just moved them forward a week. So maybe I'll do them next week. But here I am again. So wonderful for you all to join me. And today we're going to talk a little bit about Thailand. What's new? What is new? And I was talking to a guy yesterday. Was it yesterday? Day before yesterday. And he said to me, Scott, you know a lot about Thailand. Okay. Thank you. I know my fair share, right? He said, you have all these guys coming here. They don't know anything about Thailand, or they know almost nothing about Thailand. And yet they have 60,000, 100,000. I said, that's the way it works. It's maybe it's a popularity contest. I don't know what it is. And I really don't care, to be honest. I used to care. And then I just went, what does it really matter? If you're being looked at by 50,000 people, think about how many people that is in the world. Thank you. It's a smidgen. It's almost nothing. I mean, it's not even Bangkok. Not even half of Bangkok is watching. Not even a quarter of Bangkok is watching. I mean, even a 500,000. That's not that many people. Okay, it's more than 15,000, 20,000. I understand. But like, would I be excited? Would I be super excited if I had, 1 million people? Well, I'd go, wow, that's a lot. That's pretty good. But you know what? How many do I have now? I don't even know. I have an idea. 17,525. Now, am I happy about that? Yes. I'm very happy. I'm like, it's better than two, you know. And as far as the knowledge goes, what I know, what some people know, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there, they know far more than I do. And I know there's a lot of people that I know far more than them. But I saw a guy yesterday. I'm not gonna say his name or anything. I'm not out to shame anybody or do anything like that. But he said one of the best ways to transfer money is Western Union. And while it is very fast, generally their fees are not very good. If you transfer $1,000, it's going to cost you, $100, $150, something like that. So it's not very good. How would I transfer money? Wise. If you take out $1,000 from your ATM and your ATM doesn't charge any bank fees and it refunds the Thai bank fees, well, then you lose on the exchange rate, but you always lose on the exchange rate, or you almost lose something on the exchange rate all the time. So I would rather do that. Wise, Revolut, or you just take money out from your ATM, but you try to take out $1,000, or you try to take out $700, whatever you're allowed to take out. Generally, you don't use Western Union. And I mean, I'm not even talking about this in the stream, but when you hear some guy come onto a channel and he goes, "Yeah, I'm paying $800 a month for my apartment. It's so badass. Look at this. I've got a gym. I've got a swimming pool, infinity swimming pool. I've got this. I've got." Most of the time, most people don't use that stuff. I mean, let's just face it. Most people do not use that stuff. And if you do use it, you tend to use it a lot more in the beginning and a lot less as you stay. And if you've ever seen some of the apartments here in Bangkok, you know some of them, even though they're 25, 30,000 baht, $800, whatever it might be, they're crap. The reason I say that is because my wife and I have gone and looked at condos. We haven't done it in about 6 months, but we looked at condos just because we wanted to buy a couple of condos. And we were going to rent them out. We figured we'd let our kids have one and we'd rent one out. And we looked at these things. And what it was like is you're sitting there watching TV, and just to the right of you is the window. Now, it's a big, all it is all glass. It's not, concrete and then there's a window in. No, it's all glass. And, well, if you just lean up against it a little bit, you're not going to fall out of the window. But I would say if you're roughhousing and you smashed into the window, hey, who knows? Who knows if you're going to fall out or not? But I wouldn't want to take a chance. It's just, there's little things like that are not all that safe. So you have to be very careful when you're picking out an apartment, a condo, whatever it is. Why do you think so many guys do the high flyers in Pattaya? Because it's so easy to fall or jump. I mean, think about it. You go somewhere and the bar goes up to 2.5 feet, 3 feet. It's up to your nutsack. And you lean over a little bit too much. Maybe you're drunk. Boom, that's it. You're gone. End of story. So these kind of things that I hear about, I just laugh at them. Oh, you want to eat? Go to 7-Eleven, man. It's really cheap. 7-Eleven? Are you fucking kidding me? I know a lot of people like the Toasties, but 7-Eleven is not, at least not for me. It's not the place where you go to get all your food. I know some people, maybe Billy, maybe John O, maybe some other people. They go down there to get some water or they get some milk or something like that. I understand. Aside from maybe getting some milk, some bananas, a little yogurt or something like that, you're not going to get a full course meal. You're going to get a microwavable meal. You're going to get something that you stick into the oven. You get yourself a Toasty. Okay, well, it's, I don't know what they are, 24 baht or something like that, 22 baht. And they don't fill you up. Now, if that's where you want to go eat your food, and listen, I may be a bit of a big guy, and I may be, carrying a bit of weight or whatever. I'm pretty stout, but I have never in my life gone to 7-Eleven. The only thing I went to 7-Eleven for really was when I was a kid. I went there for Slurpees. And sometimes you buy a little candy with your buddy or whatever. Okay. Nowadays, okay, you need something, you need a little sugar, you need a little this, a little that. Okay, you can get it. But what I'm saying is that's not a place to like where you go eat your meal every day. That's just stupid. And if you want to eat that way, okay, yeah, maybe you're going to eat for cheap. Well, it's only 32 baht a meal or 24 baht a meal for a toasty. Yeah, but a toasty doesn't fill you up. Even if you have two of them, it doesn't fill you up. Because all it is bread and a little piece of meat and a little piece of cheese. And it's not good cheese. I'll tell you that. There is a difference in Thailand between, and just like in America, there's a difference between cheese spread and real cheese. If you want some real cheese, you got to pay some money. And that's why little things like that, they cost more money. You are not going to come to Thailand and eat like a king, and you're going to be spending $2 a day. It's just not going to happen. You're not going to do it. Okay. Now, maybe if you're some little 90-pound woman who eats once a day or something like that, or she eats a yogurt and then she has for dinner, she has, some fruit or something. Okay. Have at it. But to me, that's not the way that you're supposed to eat healthy. Okay. And I'm not talking about, oh, I want to eat like I need to eat. I'm not even talking about I want to gain muscle and I want to get big. My kid eats all the time, and he's only gained a little bit of weight, a little bit of mass on him. And that kid eats all the time. It's like he eats like 4 times a day, and he has 2 shakes a day. So anyway, I don't know why I got on this, but I did. But for some reason, there's so many people. They always think that Thailand is the paradise, and for me, I don't want to say it's paradise. I told I think Jono yesterday. I said this place to me is it's just like being back home in America. It's like being in Florida. It's the same thing. It's not exotic. There's nothing unusual about it. It's very blasé to me. And for some people, that may sound a bit strange because when they come here, they go, "Oh my God, wow, this is wild, man. Oh, it's so crazy here." But you think about it. You think about for me, and I'm not just saying this, but really, you think about it for me. I've been to some pretty freaking crazy places here. Not here, but also Myanmar and Laos and Cambodia and Indonesia. So I've been to a lot of crazy places. And, in my day, back in the day when I was younger, man, I got shit faced all the time. I was constantly getting shit faced. Where'd all my money go? I go out with 10,000 baht. I come back. I go, I got 400 baht left. What happened? Where did it all go? I don't know. I just must have partied. So sometimes it's confusing. It's a beautiful place here. It can be frustrating. For some, it can be intoxicating where they can't get enough of the place. It can be a blend of many things. And that's the thing, I think you just got to kind of take it easy and just have a good time. But you got to remember that sometimes having a good time does not mean going way overboard and getting completely trashed all the time. Because that's how you end up. First of all, that's how you end up with a little bit less money than you might expect. And you might not know what happened to you. I don't know. But if you're an expat and you've been here for a while, you're a guy like me, you're a guy like Jono for some, in most ways, maybe Billy, although he hasn't kind of integrated here yet fully. Jim. You know, there's a lot of guys who have made the move, and they are just. It's all about. I live here. I'm not visiting. I'm not a tourist. I'm not some guy who, hey, I'm running a bar down in Pattaya, and I've got a couple of chicks, and you know, wow, man, it's so great. Listen, if I wanted to have a couple of chicks, I'd have them. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I'd have 5 chicks. I'm serious. If I wanted 5 girls, I would have 5 girls. I don't want it. I've already had it. Hey, Sam, what's happening? Funny, I'm talking about you today. Um, you know, for the first 3 years that I was here, I went absolutely nuts. I mean, I went crazy. I did everything I wanted to do. I'm just saying, you know, I'm talking about some people who sometimes don't make the most, they don't make wise judgments. Like they decide they want to send money uh, by Western Union, or they want to, you know, eat in 7-Eleven and have a, you know, a toasty, which there's nothing wrong with having a toasty, but I'm just saying, if you want to like, you want to exist on toasties and you want to exist on 7-Eleven, listen, I don't even want to talk about it because it's so stupid. It's like, what about a real meal? Have you ever eaten like a real man? You know, have you ever had a pork chop? Have you had you know, a big plate of uh, pad thai noodles? Have you had chicken cordon bleu? Have you? I mean, you know, have you actually eaten, or you just go to 7-Eleven and eat a banana? And some of these guys, sometimes I think that's all they do. What makes Thailand so compelling yet so chaotic? Well, that's a question. It's not just the food, it's not the nightlife or the smiley faces. It's all the contradictions. You see this, but you see that. That's what it is. Oh, it's modern. It's so modern here, but it's still really traditional. You know, you get whatever you want. Oh, it's so cheap here. Really? I was just staying in a $3,000 a month apartment. My buddy had a 5,000 5,000, was it $5,000 a month? I think it was 5 grand a month he paid for this place. It was massive. And it was fantastic. Now I don't know if he still has it. I think he sold it, but I don't know. But my other friend had one, and it was something like $4,000 a month. And he thought he was hot shit. And he went out and he got him. I've told this story. He went out, found himself a girlfriend that he paid for. She was on the payroll. He gave her 80,000 baht a month. He thought he was hot shit. He thought he had plenty of money. He had $500,000 at one point. Then he gets himself this apartment. He's got like 4 bedrooms. He's got like 5 air conditioners. He's got all these things. And eventually, he found out he got ripped off by some guy, and he lost most of his money, and he had to borrow money, and he couldn't pay his bills. He could barely pay me. And the only reason that he paid me is because he got threatened by who I was working with. We threatened him. We said, listen, you got to come up with this. This is no excuse. I'm sorry. You just can't not pay. You have to pay. And I never saw him again. The guy did send me a message once and say, am I okay if I go there? You know, I mean, are you going to come after me? I said, no, man. You know, he paid his debt. Everything was cool. And that was it. That was the end of it. I said, you're fine, man. Do whatever you want. Come see me. I don't care. You know, I don't have a problem being your friend. You paid your debt, man. You know? Sometimes, though, the scams, the bureaucracy, and sometimes, like for me, I wouldn't say I'm burnt out, but this is not the same place as it is for somebody who comes here, you know, every once in a while. I can't use Billy. I can't really use Jono. I can't use Jim because these people all live here. But maybe somebody, I don't know about Dowlo either because he comes and he stays 3 months out of the year. But I guarantee you it's not the same for him as it is for me. And sometimes it's better to come for a holiday. I mean, that's just my opinion. So there is some truth to, you know, the whole madness thing in Thailand. There's truth to the paradise aspect of it. I mean, not if you're living here, I don't think it's going to be paradise all the time. But it can be damn good. You know, and everything in between. There's a lot in between. What do you mean Songkran? You're talking about Songkran. Songkran doesn't do anything for me. Nothing. But to a lot of people, it does. And it doesn't really matter that it doesn't excite me. But think about it. I've been through, you know, 30 Songkrans. I've done them in Myanmar. I've done them in Cambodia. I've done them in Thailand. I've done them down in Khao I've done them in Pattaya. I've done them on Sukhumvit. I've done them on Lat Pral. I've done them at Khao San. It wasn't last year. It was the year before. But that I won't be doing it again. I can tell you that right now. I will never do it again, ever. And it's not because I hate it or anything like that. I did it. You know, if you look at somebody who I really admire him and like his work is Ricky Gervais. I like his work because he does something and he goes, I'm done. That's it. No more. I don't want to do this. And that's exactly how I feel. Just like I felt about you know, the letters. I got a letter, you know, this guy's a chowderhead and all that kind of stuff. Okay. It went on for a while and I did it pretty well. It made me money. It, you know, it made me happy sometimes. It made a lot of people happy. Okay, good. But at some point I just went, enough. That's it. I don't want to do it anymore. It's boring as hell. Even now it's boring because the letters that come in now are not the same as the type of letters that came in a long time ago because I think people now have wised up. They know, hey, if I'm going to get involved with this girl who works in, you know, in some bar in Pattaya, well, you know, what are my chances? They're probably not that good. Guys kind of know that already. It's kind of built in. You know, they go, oh. She works at Big Dogs. She's really cute. Well, unless you got an ironclad agreement and you know how to handle the girl, I would say it's fun. That's it. It's fun. You know, I go out. Of course, I can have fun. It's not like I can't go out and smile a little bit. But if I go into, I can tell you for a fact, and there are a lot of guys who know about this, at least a handful of guys. If I was to go to Pattaya, I can have a good time. But when the girls start coming to me and they start going, oh, why you no smile? Oh, I want to make you happy. Oh, why you no happy? Oh, I just want to go, shut the fuck up. Honey, you don't know me. Leave me alone. That's what I want to say. Well, I don't know. I think the aggression has dropped off after about the last 10 years. I think the aggression is nowhere what it used to be. I mean, people used to just throw powder and water and just all kinds of stuff on you. Whether you're riding a motorcycle, doesn't matter. They used to do that. And now, I mean, it's like they come up and gently wipe your face or stuff like that. And, you know, some of the foreigners are dipshits, but that's why I stay away from the foreigners. That's why I don't want to go to, you know, what the hell is it? The full moon party. Why do I want to go to the full moon party? For what? What's the point of that? I'm almost 65 years old, right? I'll be 63 in a couple of months. 63. Now, I'm 63. You think I want to go out and I want to like drink a big milkshake full of mushrooms, smoke a bunch of weed, run around, laugh and giggle at all the kids? Come on, man. What do I care about that? They're not important to me. That's not important to me. You know, so like for me to go and do that, I mean, what I would say is if it happened, it happened. But I would not make it a point to go down there because, woo, I want to party. That's just not me anymore. Good morning there, Jim. Mr. Alpharetta Jim. Swadi, Swadi. And it's not crop, it's crop. KRUP. Just so you know. I experience the full moons and Songkrans twice a day while in Thailand. Okay, if you say so. That's what I mean. Now, you know, for me, it's very easy. And, you know, I do still go out, but I just don't say anything about it. And I don't film it and I don't stream it. And there's a couple places that I'm going soon, and I don't know if I'm going to film it or I'll stream it. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. And, you know, like I said, we've been thinking about Greece and going to an island there. We've got a lot of things planned. Hello, Tuk. Sawadi Kap. And, you know, we may do it, we may not. I don't know. But what I do know is that for me to go somewhere like that, I'm a lot more excited than to say, hey, I'm going to go down to the full moon party and get shit-faced. I want to go party. I want to get drunk. I'm going to drink jungle juice. Wow. Oh, my God. You know, I mean, I've done that. It's fun. It can be fun. But I'll be honest, when I drink, usually I drink a fair bit because I don't drink all that often. And usually I can hang. I don't go out and drink and throw up all over the place. And yeah, that's not fun to me. So, and you know, I'll tell you something. The other day I was sitting there. I told you the story about my grandfather and everything. I'm still trying to get all kinds of information, and it may be slow going. I don't know. There are museums, there are places I can get information from, but you know, I just got lucky the other day, and that's why I found the report. But I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking, oh wow, it'd be nice to do something. And I'm watching this show, and they're talking. This guy is talking about running around. He's a triathlete. Now, obviously, I'm not a triathlete. I'm not in that kind of shape anymore, and I won't be in that kind of shape ever again. But this is a younger guy. He wants to go from continent to continent. In each continent, he wants to do a triathlon. So he's asking this guy who's a biologist. He's an animal expert. He's asking him, what about when I go to India? And he goes, oh, well, now India is a place you have to really be careful about. He goes, it depends on where you're going to be. Oh, really? The snakes? No, not the snakes. I swear to you, this is the truth. He said, nowadays that the people and that the leopards and tigers they have moved in together. They are close together in how they live. And the tigers and the leopards try to stay away so nobody sees them. And the people, obviously, they don't want to see a leopard or a tiger. But what happens sometimes is these animals go on the roof, and people keep their pigs up on the roof, and the animals go up there and eat the animals, the tigers and the leopards. And he said, well, sometimes they come down so that they can go out to the forest or whatever they're going to do. He goes, that's when you have to be careful. He said, if you go in the midday, whether it's wherever it is, but in a lot of places, you go in midday and all the apex predators are asleep. And during dusk and dawn, that's when they start hunting. The guy said, so what? I got to worry about leopards and tigers. He goes, if you're running through the city, yeah, you got to you have to kind of wonder about it. He goes, probably you'll be all right. You're going to be all right, but you never know. These things may come after you. And I think there was something else too. But then in Australia also, he's like, what about Australia? He goes, well, you have the sharks, but he goes, you also have all the crocodiles and all the snakes, because the snakes are quite deadly. I'm thinking about that. I'm watching this and I thought, I need to go to some of these places, man. I need to go to some of these places. Spiders. Yeah, the brown recluse spider. I know a guy who stepped on a brown snake when he was younger. He got bit and he almost died. And then he turned out he became a Muay Thai fighter, but he got fucked up from that spider. So, I've been thinking about little different things to do, but I'm not really looking forward to going into areas, like he goes, oh, you don't want to go into the Sundarbans if you can. And I said, if you can help it. You don't want to be running through the Sundarbans because that's where the tigers are. That's their habitat. And it's so muggy and marshy that even if you are running through water, if those tigers see you, they will come through the water and they will run faster than you and they will catch you. And that's what they do to the honey farmers who are looking for honey in the middle of the marshes. They put masks on the back of their heads so they can't be seen, like the tiger thinks that they're looking at them. So anyway, so this was something else, but that's the thing. I got to go to places like this now. And I told my wife yesterday, I go, listen, if we're not going anywhere, I'm going somewhere. I have to go somewhere. In the next couple of weeks, I got to go somewhere just to get out. Oh, why don't you bring one of the kids? I'm like, I don't know about that. I love my kids a little bit too much to bring them on something where, one of them will fall, break their leg, or I don't know, run into a snake. You go into the jungle of Thailand and they got all kinds of crates and pit vipers and all kinds of shit. And I'm not one of those people that go over there and start grabbing them. I'm the kind who stays away. Anyway, let me continue here. I don't know what the hell I was talking about. But okay, so what makes Thailand tick? $24 question. Not really the obvious stuff, but it's the layers that people don't see. And usually, if they do see them, it's when they're really deep. They've already gotten deep and they're like, oh, wow, I didn't know it was like this. Um, what is this here? Why does everyone fall in love with Thailand? That's the $64 question. Because Billy, do you remember your honeymoon here in Thailand? I do. I remember coming here and just going, wow, this is awesome. And then I went to what was it? Not Surin, but Sakale. I went to Sakale. I don't even want to talk about why I went, but I went. And all I did when I was there was party, and people just stared at me. And I had a hotel, and I had some chick come to my hotel all the time, and she would take care of me, and and I mean, it was nice. And I was like, man, this place is incredible. No, I don't think Thailand is what the U.S. was 40 years ago. I'm sorry, they're different cultures. They do not. I mean, technologically maybe, but when it comes to you know Thailand, when it was the traditional Thailand, and it still is in many ways, it had nothing to do with America. It was nothing like that. And I'll tell you something. I found something else out yesterday. Now this has to do with my grandfather again, but my mother used to say that they didn't have any running water in the house. I mean, this is back in the 40s. Didn't have running water. And one of somebody in the family had some money and they had electricity, but they still didn't have running water. They used a pump. And in order to take a bath every Saturday, all the girls would line up. Yes, they had an outhouse. They would line up, would fill up the bathtub. You get in there, you clean yourself, you get out, they drain the water, they'd put more water in, the next person would go in, they would do that again, again, again. So maybe 10 people. And I think to myself now, can I imagine myself showering once a week? No, no, I can't. I don't even want to think about that. But I guess you got to do what you got to do. Whether it's your first time here in Bangkok, if there's anybody out there that's never been here, or you're kicking it on Koh Lanta, Thailand feels like it's such a dream. Supposedly, you get you get a bowl of noodles, you get massages for a couple of bucks. I mean, listen, even the massages are more expensive now. I used to get them for 150 baht here while I lived here. I remember when it was 100 baht for an hour-long massage. Then it went up and up and up, and it was 150, then it was 160, now it's 180. In some places it's 200, it's 250. Oh shit. The beaches, well, there weren't that many people, and they looked like, it looked like a postcard all the time. It was very easy to get a photo that looked like a postcard. Nowadays, it's a little more difficult. Of course, the nightlife was good. The nightlife was better, in my opinion, back in the day. It was a free for all. I mean, you wanted to dance on the bar and, I mean, all night long. You wanted people dancing on the bar with the girls. You're falling asleep, which that happened to me, of course. I talked about that. You fall asleep in the bar. People just left you there. When it was time to wake up, maybe the girl came over and goes, hey, hey, Joe, get up. Time for you to get up. It was an adventure. It was a huge adventure. And it still is an adventure. But it ain't as much as it used to. I'm sorry. I don't care what anybody says. Not for me. And, back then the smiles were very genuine. So it's easy to get taken in, and you start to think like, wow, this place is the best place ever. And that's what lures you in. And nowadays, oh, you're a digital nomad. Oh God. I don't even know what to say about digital nomad. I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with doing a job. And you're labeling something. Oh, you're a digital nomad. Well, what about when I had to make a phone call back to America and talk for 10 minutes over the phone with the person that I was dealing with? And she would fax me something and I would fax it back. Is that a digital nomad? Because that's what I used to do. Anyway, you got lots of people living up in Chiang Mai. I don't know. That's not where I want to live. You got lots of people in Isan, and I understand the allure there, but that's not where I want to live because my wife is from the south, and she just doesn't want to live there. It's like, where do you come from? I come from the south. What part of the south? I come from here. Okay, that's where she wants to be. And if she wants to move somewhere else part time, then it has to be something that's going to be exciting for her. She went to Ecuador. She loved it. She went to Portugal. She loved Portugal. She didn't like that Portugal was a bit expensive in Lisbon. But listen, we bought all kinds of seafood and all kinds of groceries in Ecuador. And she's like, I can't believe how cheap this is. She's like, this is like a third of the cost in Thailand. And I'm like, maybe we need to start a business here. Anyway, everybody is always looking for something when they come here. They want a place to relax. They want their freedom. They want their peace and quiet. That's what I like. They want their sex. Oh, I've got to have, this bar close by because they've got the best looking girls. This is a second chance at my life, right? That's what some of these people want. I'm not in love with Thailand. You never were? Jesus Christ. You got to find another place then. Referring to the sense of community, riding in the bed of a truck, being able to fish in a local pond without a license, being able to sell fresh produce on the side of the road. Don't they still do that now, like in Florida? I don't know, but can, but not as a civilian. What do you do with Sid and Nancy during extended trips? We have a niece that stays with us, well, stays at our house, and she basically stays there in the morning. Then sometimes she has to go to work during the day, and then at 5, 6 o'clock she comes home. She stays with them all night. She feeds them, she waters them. Then on the weekend she stays with them. So we have that kind of covered. All right. So the flip side that most tourists never see. Um, a lot of things don't make sense. You're trying to make heads or tails of something and you just can't figure it out. And a lot of that is the bureaucracy. Oh, that rule changed. Well, yeah, it changed, but it didn't really change. Um, and I'm still anxious to see what are they going to do about the weed. Now, I kind of erred on the side of they are going to change the law. But I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't get paid to be right. I get paid to make a choice one way or the other. Um, Sometimes offices close early. Sometimes they open late. Sometimes you hear, oh, today holiday for him. He no come today. You'll come back tomorrow. You're like, wait, he's supposed to be here on Monday. I understand, but he's not here today. Took the day off. Anyway, Thai culture is not always about harmony. It's about avoiding conflict. Remember that. How many times I have to say that? I mean, that's what you do. You avoid the conflict. You don't try to press and press and press, and then all of a sudden they blow up, and you guys are gonna brawl, or they're gonna pull a machete out. That's not what you want to do. You want to try to avoid that at all costs. Saving face, navigating unwritten rules is something that a lot of people they just don't know how to do. I was going to suggest a stream or video on Thai hypocrisy. I can provide several examples. Well, yeah, I know, but I'm not here to criticize Thais. I'm not really here to criticize them. I don't want to just push them about, well, they're supposed to save face, and really, it's not true what they're doing. Those kind of things. Let's face it. Sometimes they use face as a coping mechanism or a way out. That's just one little example. Sometimes that's what they do. Listen, the streams are coming to an end. I hate to tell you guys this. I've been saying this for a while. I did a stream on Wednesday. I'm doing a stream today, and I'm not doing a stream until next Friday. And then after that, I don't know. Once a week, once every 2 weeks, I don't know. I'll end up in Thailand and want to. I'm not in love with it. There are plenty of negatives, but I can deal with them. I don't need love anywhere. Like is good enough. There's always love and hate. Okay, I guess. I guess. I guess you can like this place, and that's good enough. Because I can't say that I am, totally in love with it. But what I will say is that um, there's a lot of things that I really do like about this place and that I do love about it. Hey, listen, do me a favor. Click the thumbs up, please. Smash the thumbs up. It's 45 minutes. We had 42 people in here, and we got 15 thumbs up. Listen, I don't like to have to say this shit, and this is something. This is why I don't care about the stream that much anymore. Why I'm just gonna one day just go. I'll just make some videos. Maybe once in a while I'll make a travel video. I'll do this video, and I don't care. I don't care about the money so much anymore. I don't care about any of this shit. But you know what? If I don't get a thumbs up, and if like nobody ever gives me any money, well then I'm like, what the fuck am I doing it for? For my own edification, for my own fun? Sometimes I do. And that's fine. But most of the time I don't have to do this. And I understand. People go, yeah, you don't have to do it. It's your prerogative. Yeah, you're right. It is my prerogative. Well, then go watch, Joe Schmo, who's been here for 5 months and doesn't know his ass from a hole in the ground. And I know there are a lot of people out there that do know the ropes. So don't take me the wrong way. But there are some people out there, they don't know their ass from a hole in the ground. And, Sammy is the one who said to me yesterday, oh my God, can you believe this guy? I don't want to call people out. I don't want to say their names. Because you know what? Everybody got to start somewhere. But when you start up a channel, you're not the expert. Hey, man, I've been in Thailand for 1 month now, and I'm going to show you how to live here. Buy my course for $2.99. You don't need to do that. It's not going to happen, right? I mean, I just think of that, and I just go, what kind of fucking world am I living in? I think of that all the time now. I think, what kind of fucking world am I living in now? People are pissed off because, they're tightening down the rules. Well, wait a minute. How much are they really tightening down the rules? You used to come here on a tourist visa. Now you can't. Oh, wow. I guess you can't. You want to come here? Get an ED visa, buy an elite visa. If you can't save $20,000 up when you know that this is how you do it, if you're 20 years old, you go, listen, I'm going to work for the next 2 years and I'm going to save up $50,000. And I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to, and you put yourself in the right predicament to where you don't need to worry about any problems. But you see, people don't do that. They just go, well, what do you mean I can't go there? Many of them know the ropes specific to Patty and Soy Cowboy, yet don't know shit about anything beyond the bars. Yeah, I mean, like I told Sam, it is what it is. All right. You want to ask them about a particular dish. You want to ask them about, how do you make this? You want to ask them about what can you do? What do you like? What about if you got kids? Where are you going to put them in school? How do you think about school? How much is it going to cost you? Do they know anything like this? No. And, I don't know everything. Believe me, I don't. But I acknowledge that. But if I don't know it, I can find it out pretty damn quickly. And the thing is, okay, you may not have kids right now. You may be some guy who comes over, you're 25, and you go, oh, I'm going to make it. For the first 5 years, you're struggling. You're going, shit, I don't know what to do. Somehow you make it. By the time you're 35, you're like, all right, I got it going on. I got money saved. I can do this. I can buy myself this. Then you meet a woman and you end up, you got 2 kids. What am I going to do? And you have no freaking clue. And let me tell you something. They used to have a book about all the international and bilingual schools in Thailand. I don't know if they still have it, but it wasn't a great book. It was okay. But I used that and I looked at that. And then I had to do all kinds of things. I had to go from different schools to different schools. Oh my God, it was a pain in the ass. People don't know about shit like this that I did. They don't know about that. And some of you will never have kids. And then this brings me to another point, which I was talking about yesterday with Jono. You got no girlfriend. You're alone. You're gonna die alone. You're gonna be dying. You're gonna die in some apartment, and it might take them 5 days to figure out. Oh my God, what does that smell? Oh, it's you. You're dead. There's nobody gonna be there to help you out to plan your, whether it's a burial or cremation or whatever it is. Nobody is gonna be there for you. Now, is that what you want? Some people just go, oh, I don't care. Yeah, of course you don't care. I don't want to be where I'm at now. My buddy's a nut. He listens to all leftist shows every day and believes whatever they say. He listens on his phone and not TV because I won't let him. I mean, I'll tell you one recommendation I would give guys if they're older. If you are an older man, I'm talking 65 to 75, and you don't want to die alone, if it's important to you that you don't die alone, you don't have to have a girlfriend. You don't have to have a wife. But you should have a girl that maybe what you do is you break her off a piece. You say, listen, honey, I'm getting old. I need a little bit of help. I'll give you 10,000 baht a month. You got to check on me 3 times a week. You don't have to be here very long. Maybe once in a while you might be. And she's your friend. She takes care of you. And then if you do die, well, she'll find you within a day or 2. I mean, I don't know. For some people, it doesn't matter if they die alone. It's like, it's just like, it doesn't really matter where I'm buried because I'm already going to be dead. I don't know. Yeah, when you're gone, and then you leave the mess to somebody else. That's what you do. You leave the mess to everybody else. Oh, look at this guy. He's bloated and he's round and he's got to go to the. And then the thing is that you have to have a shit. What the hell am I thinking about? Not an obituary. You got to go to the. Of course, you got to go to the mortuary. But you have to have an autopsy. If you're not in a hospital and you die, you have to go to the autopsy. You know, so that means they're going to be looking at you. You're going to be on a slab. They're going to be doing what they got to do to you. Now, if you're in a hospital, then they know you're dead in the hospital, so they don't investigate it. You know, you develop your routines here as an expat, as I have. You can live in between the bliss and the chaos. You don't have to, you know. I mean, listen, it's still pretty peaceful in the mall here. I know. By 12:30 or 1 o'clock, man, people are going to start coming. So usually about 12 o'clock, I have a lunch. I go to the grocery, I grab something. 1 o'clock, I'm out the door, I'm home. I got to do a few things at home. Sometimes I got to go somewhere, whatever it might be, and I'm home 4, 5, 6 o'clock because that's my routine. You don't always expect things to be fast here. You just take your time. You're not in any hurry. That's what you should remember. When you're here, you're not in a hurry. And for goodness sake, do not continue to compare Thailand and America. Because if you live here, what the fuck is going on in America doesn't matter. People tell me about Trump. People tell me about, before, about Biden, about Kamala Harris, about the Democrats. I just go, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I'm sorry. I don't want to use foul language, but I don't care. Why do I care? I live here. Very easy. And you know what? If I decide to go to Canome, go look for a pink dolphin, go to Sichon, or go down to Nakhon Si Thammarat, somewhere like that, I'm sitting there on the beach in a little bungalow. Nobody cares about my political thoughts. They don't care about what I'm doing. Nobody gives a shit. I could be eating something or eating a piece of fruit. I could be eating a mango or something. And my buddy comes up to me, hey, man, you know what's going on with Donald Trump right now? No, I don't care. I don't want to know. I don't want to know what's going on with anybody. It has nothing to do with who it is politically. I just don't want to know. I don't live there. Jesus Christ. And that's the thing here. You got a lot of personal freedom. As much freedom as you want here, you can have, right? There's not much judgment. I mean, I'm not going up to people and telling them how I think this way about their leader and that way about their leader. I don't care because I can't vote. So I don't really care. Now, sometimes there's red tape and sometimes I tactfully talk about it. Sometimes I just shut my mouth and just go, it's going to be okay, Scotty. In about 20 minutes, you're going to be done here, and that's all there is to it, so you don't have to worry about it. And that's what I do. What's funny is that you see people come here. Now you're seeing them come in their 20s. It used to be 40s, 50s, 60s. Now they're coming in their 20s, their 30s, their 40s, their 50s, their 60s. Usually the people who are a little bit older have some smarts, and they have a pension or something. But the guys in their 20s and 30s, They think they're escaping the rat race. They're not thinking about, hey, you know what? One way or the other, I got to make some money to pay the bills here. Am I independently wealthy? No. Okay, well, then you got to make some money. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got to make some money. And, sometimes the ways that you do things don't always last. Sometimes after, 5 years, you can't sell that anymore. So some people just disappear. Some people go back home. Some people just go, oh, I can't take it anymore. And that's when too much of a good thing, eventually they go, wow, this was so great. Now I don't know. What am I supposed to do? And if I'm dead, I'm not able to care where they found me, probably die in a hospital. Yeah, okay. I love how I see these things. It's not up to me. Yeah, sure. I forgot about that. All right, let me see something here. Now, of course, we got to talk about women. And, you know, uh, nowadays, nowadays, I go, if I really wanted, I could go to all kinds of massage parlors, I could bang a couple women a day if I want. If I want to do that, that's what I can do. But you know what? It doesn't have the same zing that it used to have. Maybe because I'm older. Maybe because it means something to me to have a family and to have a woman who, she's doing it for you. She's doing it because she wants you happy. Those kind of reasons. As opposed to maybe some chick that you meet in some bar who you don't know. Maybe she's like whacked out of her head. Maybe she's not doing it for she's just doing it to get the job done. Um, but what happens is people come here and then the women treat them better than they've ever been treated in their lives before back home. And I know there's a lot of guys out there who are watching right now who know exactly what I'm talking about. Even the working girls treat them better than some of the girls back home. That happens. But guess what? It ain't free. It's not financially free. It's not emotionally free. And it's not psychologically free. It may be for a while. You may get that nut. You may drain your ball sack. You may be happy. You may be like, oh my God, I never met a woman like this before. I never met a woman like this before in my life. But you know what? There's always the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. And eventually, there's always good ones. You know, sometimes there's bad ones, sometimes there's good ones. But if you're falling in love here, just better make sure it's real love. It's not the kind of love that you're going to get because you handed them a stack of bills. You know, is it a lasting connection? Is it something that she's going to help you all the time? Everything you need help with, she's going to help because you're paying her. I don't know, man. What is this? What does this say here? People over exaggerate the way women are here back home. There's plenty of good ones. I know that. I do know that because I've really only had probably one or two bad women back home. And one of them I left and she's telling me, oh, I love you. Oh my God, I love you so much. I'm going to miss you. Man, I called up one time, the guy answered the phone. I go, what the fuck is this? And then she wanted me back. You know what I mean? Like, And I'm like, no, I can't deal with this, man. This is too much head trauma. Western women with green hair, nose ring, obese, and with a sense of entitlement who think they're an A. Yeah, I don't. Those are not the kind of women that I hang out with. That I don't surround myself with them. I don't see them very often. That is not my style. You know, I see a girl. She's dressed in nice clothes. She's very polite. Um, she might be a little bit of a. She might be a little. What's the word that they say in England? Cheeky. She might be a little cheeky. You know, she's funny, but she's not like openly getting sexualizing herself or anything like that. That's the kind of woman that I like back home. I didn't want some chick who's, like she leans over and you're like, oh my God, she's got nice tits, man. Look at that. Oh my God. Oh, look what she's doing. Oh, she's opening her legs now. I don't know, man. There's something called class. A crush in Kathy equals a lack of information. Yeah. You know, you're there for one reason. Have your fun, move on. That's it. I only see those women on social media news, but not in person. Yeah, I don't really see those people. I used to live in Seattle and I didn't see those women. I remember flatly getting turned down by a Japanese girl. She's a Japanese American girl, really good looking. And I thought, I got it, man, I got to try. I just got to try. And I was like standing at the bookstore and she was standing there looking at a book or something. And I said something about the book. And she goes, huh? What? And I said, oh, that book you're looking at, it's whatever, Spice so and so. I really like that guy. She's like, oh. And I didn't say anything else. And I go, listen, I was just wondering. And she goes, no, no, no. She goes, I don't want to talk. Okay, honey. No problem. See you later. You know, smack. I got smacked down on that one, man. She just, no, thank you. And I was like, wow. She didn't waste no time shutting me down. That was like one of the worst shutdowns I ever had in my life. I mean, as blatant, nope, sorry, not going to do it. Yeah, it was brutal, man. It was brutal. It was brutal. And I just remember thinking to myself, have I got no chance here in this city? Is there no chance for me at all? And I used to go to, um, what's it called? The Starbucks at Pike Street, the very first Starbucks. I used to go to that place every morning at like 6 o'clock. And I used to think to myself, wow, I wonder if, one day some beautiful girl's going to come in and I'm going to hook up. No, it didn't. It never happened that way. There's one subject back home you'll care about, along with older Americans there in Thailand and me, if I make it to that age, Social Security. Well, first, I got to tell you about Social Security. I don't think they're going to just stop Social Security. I really don't think it's going to happen. They're not going to just say, hey, guess what? Everybody who's been getting Social Security, nope, you're not going to get it anymore. And they're not going to go to people, some little old lady who's making $1,000. They're not going to say, oh, well, now you make 750, honey. Well, how am I supposed to live off of this? I can barely live off $1,000. So they're not going to do that. But what they are going to do is they're going to make it, it's going to take longer to get your Social Security. You're going to have to pay more. And, the newer people are not going to be able to get it at 62. They might have to wait until 67. And they'll find a way to finance it. And quite frankly, I don't give a flying shit about that, other than they can't do that to people. They really cannot do that to people. I think if they did that to people, there's going to be hell to pay, man. That's going to be hardcore. Well, maybe you talk to too many bar girls, dude. You know, I mean, honestly, I still remember, like, I mean, when I was first here, I was going out with bar girls, and I would meet some chick, and I'd go, "Hi, how are you?" And I would say, "Oh, Sawadee Kap," use my shitty Thai, and they would talk to me, and I'd say, would you like to go out?" And a couple of them would say yes. So the small percentage would say yes, and I would go out with them. But it wasn't like, as soon as I got there, it was like we were all over each other. That shit wasn't happening. Yeah, it's not going to affect me. So, you say, "Oh, is it going to worry you?" Could it worry me? Yeah, of course. But I don't think so. I really don't think so. And yeah, I think I'm going to be fine. That's kind of what I say. I told you guys the story about when I was in Seattle and they had like some casino or something. I think in Kirkwood or Bellwood, or I don't remember because I don't even remember where I live. And I go in and I see a couple of girls sitting off in the distance. And I go over to the counter to get something to drink because the guy's right up there. I start getting something to drink. I'm sitting there. And then, one of them kind of like moves over a little bit and goes, "Hey, you want to buy me a drink?" And I looked at her and she was like, 250 pounds. And I went, "No, that's all right." And she asked me, "Are you gay?" And I was like, "No, honey, I ain't gay. I just don't want to, I don't want to buy you a drink." And then in Alaska, oh my God, man. You want to talk about desperation. In King Cove, Alaska, I was in King Cove and I saw a couple Filipino girls. I started talking to them. They were very nice. They're talking to me. There was a couple Thai girls and I spoke a little bit of Thai to them. So all the girls, they already knew, oh, this is this guy. They knew who I was. But I wasn't thinking like, oh, I want to get me some of that. And that night I went out and they had, like they had a little dance floor where you could fit like maybe like 25 people. And the girls went out in the center of the floor. There was like 5 girls, and the guys were surrounding them. I mean, it was all the guys were after these girls, and these girls were not good-looking women. They were not, like, "Oh man, she's a babe." It was not even like, "Oh man, you know what? I'd just like to have one night with her." No, it wasn't anything like that. It was, "No, thank you. She's a pig." And these guys were after them like they were the most beautiful creatures they've ever seen. I couldn't believe it. That just soured my taste for everything. Anyway, all right, where am I? Oh yes. Whether it's gold diggers, family expectations, or cultural misunderstandings, relationships often come with a manual that nobody ever gives you. If you don't know what you're doing, you're going to learn the hard way. And let me tell you something. When I first came over here, there was no website with the old Phuket on it. There was no Pattaya Mail. There was no news site for Thailand. There was no how to live in Thailand. There was none of that shit. None of it. It was like a far off dream. Oh, yeah, there's girls in Bali. They're beautiful, really brown. Oh, nice. That might be the most you get. The most I got was from the guy who worked next to me before I decided to move home and work from home. And he told me about going to Bali and how great it was and how he would spend money. He would spend money and he would buy some furniture and then he would ship it back and then he would resell the furniture here. And he made a bundle of money. He made enough to pay for his trip and then some, you know. But I didn't learn anything from any books. I really only learned from him. I learned from my friend Ted, the guy who lives in Ecuador. He was the guy who really pushed me to go because he had a photo book, a photo album, and he goes, "Oh yeah, look at this," and he goes, "This is so and so, this is so and so," and he showed me everything, and I was like, oh, wow. And that kind of, and plus all, when I was training in Muay Thai, some of the guys had said to me, "Oh, there's a lot of good things there. You might really like it there. There's perks there," and which were the women. And all those things together, I started piecing them together and figuring out what do I need to do when I come here. And I can tell you that for the first couple of months, all I did was go to the bar. I used to go to the bar right in front of Nana, where Nana Disco Angels was. I used to go to that bar, and they used to come out with the wet towel and wet your neck and wipe your head down and massage your neck, and you know that's what they used to do. And I started talking to some of the girls and started learning a little bit. That's how I learned. I had to learn on the job. Western logic does not apply in Thailand. Period. In Thailand, it's a different rhythm, a different pace, and some people never understand it. Um, some people just think, "Oh, they're so different." They are different, but in some ways they are very similar. They want the same things. They just may not get there in the same manner. Like I used to say, they're wired differently. Sometimes no problem means, oh, that's a big problem. And sometimes a smile doesn't really mean happiness. And sometimes saying nothing means they're pissed off at you, which I've learned from my wife. How are you, honey? Are you okay now? Because you look a little perturbed. I'm fine. I'm just gonna leave her alone. Um, Now, one thing that you shouldn't do, if you've ever done this, is don't raise your voice. Um, you really don't want confrontation, but if you raise your voice and you escalate, that's like the worst thing you can do. It makes you look so bad when you're yelling and screaming and acting like a moron. Um, and it everybody around you, it offends them, and they don't care. They're not like thinking, "Oh, this guy is offending me." They just look at you like you're the lowest piece of shit on earth, and you may not care, but you should. And this is the thing. There's something I'm gonna talk about in another video in a couple of weeks, and it's about respect. But you got to have respect on both sides. It matters, and so does humility. Somebody told me a long time ago about this Muay Thai fighter, um, Ramon Decker, and why the Thais liked him so much. And I said, well, yeah, I don't understand why. Because he's very humble. I said, really? They say, no, he doesn't talk a lot of smack. He wants to get in the ring. And I was like, okay, now I understand it. You know. Um, anyway, if you're not humble yet, if you come here, you will be humbled. Anyway, where am I? The hard way is how we know. Yeah, okay. All right. Well, so 29 thumbs up. All right, that's not too bad, I guess. I'm just gonna wait for some some kindly people to speak. We got the same people speaking. There's really not that many people in here today. I don't know why. A lot of the people don't want to speak. They're shy, I guess. Everybody's shy. Yeah, they're all shy. Yeah, that's it. We're shy. Unbelievable. Let me see something here. Let's see here. Eh. All right. Now let me get back to here. What I'm doing here. Some people, some people come here and build entire lives, like me. Unknowingly, I didn't really know I was going to do that, and then somehow it happened. Somehow it happened, and I don't know. I remember a guy back in the military who said to me, "My wife is Thai." I said, "Oh, really? Wow, she's Thai. Yeah, she can kick my ass." I go, "Oh, really?" Yeah, and he goes, "But I'll tell you what, she's the one who turned me into what I am today, because if I didn't have her, I might have been, like in jail or something like that." And sometimes that's how I think. Not all the time, but sometimes that's how I think about my wife, because yeah, she didn't have to do some of the things she did. Um, some people just figure out how to live here with contradictions. They just figure, it goes both ways. They can handle things. They don't have to fight everything. And some people are just here for the long haul. And some people never get past some fantasy that they have of, oh well, the women. And listen, I've been told about a guy. I haven't talked about him much, but this guy is the kind of guy that he thinks he's going to come over here. He's going to live here part time, and he's gonna have the girl of his dreams. She's going to be kissing his feet, kissing his ass, and anything he wants her to do, she's going to do, and he doesn't have to pay her. I mean, that's a pretty strong relationship. And yet, for 3 months, for the rest of the month, he's going to go back to his other family back in the United States. I just don't get it. Um, some people have no plan, no discipline, no culture, no respect for the culture, and then some people just flame out. And sometimes it's tragic. Sometimes nowadays, I don't ever think it's tragic. I just think, yeah, so they flamed out. They screwed up. They didn't do anything they were supposed to do. They made a left turn instead of a right turn. Makes no difference to me. Could be me, but I can tell you that my backup plan, I'm not going to be going back to the United States. You know what I mean? It's just not going to happen. And it's getting to the point now where my wife and I don't know about her for a month, maybe, but I don't know about for 3 months. I want to leave for 3 months. As we get, as she gets a little older, it'll be easier to do that when she comes to the end of her working career. But now a month is about right. So maybe I can go twice a year, she can go once a year. But I want to do that. And that means, I want to go to wherever, like I've been saying, Sardinia, Malta, Greece, Italy, wherever, Spain, Portugal, whatever. Doesn't matter. I just want to get out of here and go somewhere. Even though I'm doing the same thing here, I'm doing the same thing in a different place. That's what I want to do. So, I don't care what anybody says. This place ain't heaven, it ain't hell. It's kind of like both. It's kind of like you guys living in the United States. Now you just want, I got to get out. I got to get out. I want to go there. I want to go to Thailand. Oh, I want to see all the women there. Oh, I want to have such a good time. Well, then if you come here and you're staying here and you've been here for a while, after a while you go, okay, so I want to go to this. I want to go to Cambodia. I want to go to Vietnam. I want to go. That's exactly how it happens. Well, New Zealand's not on my top of my list. My mother's been there. Maybe I'll go there, but it's not on the top of my list because I just don't. I'm very careful now about what I'm going to do. When I travel, I want to be careful about where I travel to. And I've been a lot of countries, man. She's been to New Zealand. I haven't. Um, so, what you do with this place here, it's all about you, man. It's all about how you handle it. It's all about how you handle the supposed madness. Um, and there's really no middle ground. If you want to be a nutcase here, you will be. You know, you will be exposed. That's what I can say. You will be exposed if you want to be exposed. You will be chewed up and spit out if you want to be chewed up and spit out. But if you want to live here and you want to have a good life here, you can. I mean, it's still a great life for me. I still really like it here. There's a lot of things I like. So before you go and just buy a one-way ticket or renew your visa or something like that, you just better figure out how you're going to handle things here. And are you in the middle of the road where you can handle just about anything, or are you one of these guys who freaks out about something because um, for whatever reason things don't go your way? All right, what is this? So what's the backup plan? Buddy, I got backup plans coming out of my yin yang. I can go to Cambodia, Vietnam short term, Indonesia short term, Singapore short term. That's short term. I don't like Singapore. Um, you know, I can go to Ecuador. I can go to Portugal. I can go to someplace over there like Sardinia or Malta. I can do all these things pretty much. I mean, I can do them without my family. With my family, that's a different story. That'll take more work. But in order for me to be able to get out of here, yeah, it would be easy for me to do that. I mean, we could go back and stay in the States for a couple of weeks, and then boom, we go to Ecuador. You know, we go to Uruguay, Paraguay, whatever it is. I like the areas just outside of Bali. I want to get the fuck out of here. That's what I want to do. I'd like to go to the Mediterranean, honestly. For some reason, that kind of I don't know why, but that kind of excites me. The Mediterranean. I mean, Portugal is okay. It's good. Maybe Spain. Depends on the wife because my wife has a location in Spain and she's been there before. So she could go there and work for a little while. Um, yeah, and but the problem with going back all the way to the United States, to like Costa Rica, to Ecuador, or any of these places, is that it's such a long flight to get over there. That's expensive. I mean, you're talking about, $2,000 for one person. To go to Rome or something like that's like $700. It's not bad. So there's a lot of options, man. I just, like I say, I just got to stay alive. If I stay alive, I'll be able to I'll figure things out. Things will happen. We'll be all right. You know, there's going to be a day when my wife just goes, "That's it. I've had it. I'm done. No more work. We're done with this." And then, you know, we figure out how much money do we have? How much money do we need? How can we, you know, that's all. I mean, if we wanted, we could go live out on some island somewhere where there's not many people, if that's what we really wanted. But I don't think that's what she wants. And honestly, I don't really want to live on an island. You live on an island, and you know it's always going to be more expensive. It's always going to be more of a pain in the ass. So it's I don't know. I have to really think about that one. Anyway, I've been having these lately. Coffee the old-fashioned way. They're so good. Well, it's been fun, ladies and gentlemen. Remember to smash the like button if you could do so. If you have not subscribed, please uh, subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you'd like to show your support for the channel, you can do so by joining the VIP section of the channel for as little as $1.99. Also, if you want to send me a Dear Scott letter or you need a consultation, the email address is anamericaninbangkok@gmail.com. I don't know what's in this freaking thing. I think it's got a little brown sugar in it. It's got espresso. It's got some what is that? It's not amaretto or something. It is some kind of a liqueur or something it has in there. A non-alcoholic liqueur, but it's good. I can never find the same recipe. I need to ask them the recipe, and they're a little busy today. But yeah. So yeah, email me at americaninbangkok@gmail.com. Lots of people coming in there now. So that would be good. Continue to smash that like button. Oh yeah. Very nice. Paradise, madness, and everything in between. Whatever. Whatever kind of title is that? I don't know. Anyway, that is it. That's all we have. If there are no more questions, there are no more comments. I don't know how is she hot. Look at this. She is fanning her face. I don't know how she's so warm. Yeah, I saw it. I saw it. You know, what I'll say about the White Lotus is a couple of things. Because I've seen all of them. I've seen every season. Uh, the Italian season was probably my least favorite, although I like Michael Imperioli. The first season was probably my favorite season. The third season was pretty good, but there were some things that they did that made it not so good. And one thing was the snake. The guy starts freaking out and he lets all the snakes out. And his girlfriend walks up behind him and she goes, "What are you doing?" "Oh my God, you let the snakes out." Boom. Snake nails her from behind. They run her out, get her to the hospital. For whatever reason, they're telling him he can't go. They take her to the hospital, and we don't see her. She goes to the hospital. Then later that night, she's back from the hospital all bandaged up. Now, she got bit on the leg by a cobra. She would be laid up for 2 or 3 days at least. So that in itself made me go, this is bullshit. No, it's a fictional destination. It's a hotel destination. And they give each destination, like I think the first one was in Hawaii, second one was in Italy, the third one was in Koh So that right there, that wasn't too good. And the ending was kind of, I already knew the ending. I kind of knew what was going to happen. And okay, I like Walter Goggins. That guy's a good actor. I really like him. And I like the girl. She was good too. I like the people. And I like the guy who was the finance guy. But nothing happened to him. You know, he's supposed to be losing it all. He's gonna, all these things are gonna happen to him. Nothing ever happens to him. He's on the boat. He's just happy to have his family. I don't know, you know. And then the thing is originally it was going to help people, bring people in, and it probably brought some people to Koh Samui and also um, uh, to the, what was the name of the resort? I forget the name of it now. It was the resort there. God damn it! Let me see what it is. Yeah. Let's see here. Four Seasons. Yeah, it was the Four Seasons. And my wife and I go, oh, well, look at this Four Season. How much? It's only 75,000 baht a night. So it's like 2,000. It's more than $2,000 per night. It's like $2,200 a night or something like that. And I'm like, listen, if I pay 1,100 and you pay 1,100, I'm sorry, I still don't want to go. None of us wanted to go. And then I'm like, I've been to Koh Samui, and I've had an awesome time. But that's visiting. I don't want to go and live there. I don't want to be like that one guy and live on the hill or whatever. And you know, now that was pretty cool. The guy who lived on the hill and who was on season 1, that was cool. Other than that, you know, I don't know what to say about it. It is what it is. You know. Anyway, that's all I have. I wouldn't come to Koh Samui for the White Lotus. Oh yeah. I don't know how much. Take it easy, Jim. Jim, take it easy. I used to live down by that area, and I used to teach down by that area, and my friend used to live down in that area. I don't know what happened to him. Um, and then they had the penis shrine there, and they still have one there, but it's not what it used to be. It's just a tiny little one, when before it was a much bigger place, and whatever. Everything's got to change, and I don't know. I I prefer traditional time. It's nice to have the BTS and the MRT, and to be able to go on a boat taxi and do these kind of things. It's nice, but a lot of the other things, I want the vendors on the streets. I want them all on the streets. I want them, clogging the streets up, trying to sell people stuff. You know. Yeah, now it's tiny. They don't even really talk about it that much. Most people don't even know about it anymore. It's so tiny. The thing is, it's a fertility goddess. That's what it's there for women to go there and hope to get pregnant. So I don't know, maybe they're doing away with it or whatever. That place is kind of cool, but it's good to have something to eat there and to go for an hour or two. Well, if you go into the house, let's say it's good for about 2 hours. I like that place. It's all right for about 2 hours, and then after that, it's time to go. So, anyway, my name is Scott. I am an American in Bangkok. Until next time, see you later. Choke D, Leo Jerken Mai, Dule Didi, Dule Tua Eng. Take care of yourself. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. And it might be a couple of weeks. I don't know. A week, 2 weeks. I don't know.